Hey everyone, this is Matthew Kent, and really important thought for you guys today. So there's this debate going on about technology. There's always a debate about technology. Every time we press forward, some people are like, oh, are we going too fast? What are the ramifications? And I'm a contradiction. So when it comes to the newest of the new technology, when it comes to smartphones and social media and this kind of thing, I'm all for it. It makes the world more connected. It enables possibilities that didn't exist before. I wouldn't be able to share my thoughts with you guys if it weren't for YouTube and my cell phone that I'm recording this video on. But at the same time, I'm very wary. And I'm reading a book right now that encapsulates the wary side, and it's called Reclaiming Conversation. It's a brilliant book. And there's three main observations that I wanted to share with you guys. Three main areas that technology has a potential to be a hindrance rather than a help that you need to be on the lookout for in your own life. And I think fortunately there's some pretty easy ways to if you're going down the wrong path, to get things turned around. So the three things I want to focus on in this short video, number one, I want to focus on solitude. Number two, I want to focus on empathy. And then number three would be focus on focus. So when we start talking about solitude, I'm not talking just about being alone. That's just being alone. If you're alone and you're insecure about it, we call you lonely. We don't say it's solitude, we say it's loneliness. And when you're alone with your cell phone, you're in the presence of everyone you know, essentially. Not really, because it's not real spontaneous interaction. You're with what the author calls a managed crowd. But you're not really, it's not real solitude. Real solitude is where you have the opportunity to, instead of responding to, a bunch of different changing stimuli, everything's kind of boring. And so instead of being bored, you turn within for reflection, for imagination, for creativity. And that's where new ideas can be born. Many of the best artists and authors of all time will say that boredom was key to their creative capacity. And so are you getting this time where you're not distracted, but where really you can truly be alone and truly turn inward? Because this solitude is critical for your well-being, your internal mental well-being, your security, your state of mind, your self-esteem, whatever you want to call it. It's absolutely critical that you can just be comfortable just being and just existing and just keeping yourself company. So real solitude, not just being alone, right? You need to understand the glory of solitude, not the sorrow of loneliness. And so it's a critical distinction there. Number two thing I want to talk about, empathy. So the research apparently is overwhelmingly clear that if you forsake conversation and you turn to messaging, it destroys your empathy. But the good news is that it can be reversed very, very quickly. In fact, they take kids who have no empathy whatsoever and they put them in a device-free summer camp. And I mean, the empathy comes back like that. So the key to empathy is having real conversations and making eye contact. So much of our connection with other human beings and our ability to read faces comes from things that are almost too small to perceive that happen in the eyes. Eye contact is everything. Eye contact, the loving mother stare, a mother and her baby, that's where true bonding happens. So eye contact, have real conversations, make eye contact. The final thing, though, I want to talk about is focus. So I mentioned solitude, and that's kind of this space where your mind can wander and not be distracted by a stimulus that pops up on your phone, but just really wander. And then the flip side of that is getting your mind to focus, which also can't happen when you're in a distracted state. So the ability to put your phone down, turn off notifications, and this might be a good time for people who write to write freehand. And the reason being, you're just not going to be distracted by a billion things that come up, but you're going to have the opportunity to just focus on one thing. So I mean, these are the things I think that are most in danger when it comes to technology. Talking about the capacity for solitude, empathy, and then also focus. If you're working on those 3 things, your technology, I think, is working for you and for your good. If you're not working on those 3 things, you got to get on them. Thanks for listening. Hopefully I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.